So in this season, we are going to talk about how you can transform the files from different softwares like Revit to Navisworks very practically and nice in here. So because since here, of course, however, we needed some files, of course, that you could use, for example, the sample files of the Navisworks. But since here you will need to understand how you can transfer the different files from different softwares to Navisworks really carefully and nice. So at first, let's actually talk about it, for example, Revit to Navis. So for this action, you will need a kind of plugin in the name of NWC exporting utility. So at first, let's close the Revit and Navisworks in here, and let's go for searching the phrase of NWC export utility on Google. So let's search it in here. And among the websites that you can see in here, for example, you can go inside through the Autodesk website and you can download this file. You will go through this Autodesk. Don't pay attention to freedom. Let's go for here, download Navisworks NWC file export utility. And in this part, of course, we have a kind of explanation in here. That for you can use it AutoCAD, Revit, 3D Max, Bentley MicroStation, I don't know, Archicad, for example, and different softwares that we have in here. So you will need actually, based on the version that you have on your system, you can download it in here and install it on your system. So at first you have to install plugin on your system. With due attention that the instruction is based on 2025. I've just installed this one. Maybe you have some different versions, for example, in your system, 2025, 2024, 2023. Separately, they have to be downloaded and they have to be installed, and they are completely free. So after installation, actually, let me just remind you again that in this part that is related to Navisworks Freedom, it shouldn't be used. Yes, you have to just work by NWC exporter in here. So you have to download from here. Let me just close it in here. So the time that you install, let me just remind you, while installing the plugins, the softwares related to Autodesk completely, they have to be closed. So after installation, you will go into add-in. From this part, actually, you will have access to one plugin or even file. Export NWC. So you will have access to that in here too. So since actually we want to have access to that really quickly, we can create a kind of shortcut in here. So in Revit structure, let me just type KS. Keyboard shortcut will be opened here for me, and it will go into here NWC format. It will be searched and it will be found for me. So I have a kind of shortcut in the name of NW. I have just added that to that. So it's enough that, for example, if you search for NWC, if it is found, for example, and here and down here, for example, let me search and type for NW and assign it. It was assigned in here. So since now, if I just type NW in here, automatically this window will be open, and for exporting it will be for me, and it will be really quick way for us. So since now this window is opened, it means I've just pressed NW on keyboard of my system. So you have to consider it. So by default, it didn't have any kind of shortcut, and we created that. If you don't want to do it, you have to go here and use add-in, for example, and file export, for example, NWC. Every way that you like, you can use. So right now, actually, after doing that, for exporting the model, Revit model, of course, to Navisworks, you will go and, for example, type NW on keyboard or add in, for example, export. You can use every way that you want, and you can set a kind of direction for yourself, for example, NWC folder. And then, for example, let's save it. Before saving, actually, if you're just exporting from inside the Revit, you can go into Navisworks settings. A new window will be opened, and you have to do some settings in this window. And these settings are really, really important and vital. So these settings directly are into Navisworks options, option editor window. file readers, Revit format, the format that you have. We will have access to these settings. I mean, if you click on this one, this window will be opened for us. So it is the window of Navisworks. So this is the first point. Another point that we have in here. So the first time, if you install it, for sure, you have to just go inside the Navisworks or Revit. Both of them will be explained. You will go into Model Performance and close NWC, NWD files on load. It is not activated. For sure, you must activate it. You have to do it. So if you're just exporting from a Revit, click on Navisworks settings. Again, we have the same window, Model Performance, and it is not activated by default. You have to activate it in here. So what it does, we will talk about it in future. So for now, actually, let's go from this part, convert constructor part. Actually, completely, we'll talk about them. And we are going to talk about them. They will be in next part.